Hello everybody, and welcome back to Destiny 2. I am joined by Saber, and today we are going to be paying respects to Lance Reddick, who sadly passed away on Friday. Was it Friday?
It was the 17th.
17th, so Friday. So this is just us paying our respect with this stream. So to start off, a couple seconds, we're just going to do a 2-minute silence. And we'll do that right about now.
We have much to discuss. We can change things, I know it. We will not be taken by surprise again.
Okay, so yes, unfortunately, Lance Reddick, the voice actor for Commander Zavala, has passed away. Me and Saber haven't had the chance to get on to do one of these streams sooner as we would have liked to.
The Lucent Brood might rule the
but yeah,
light, but they will never
and I believe you
mistrust it.
didn't actually know he had passed until I posted it on my Instagram saying that he passed.
No, yeah. So the first I'd seen of it was I just happened to come onto your Instagram,
Yeah.
and because I often do, to have a little glance through to see what you've posted, and I saw that, and I wasn't aware of it at all.
Yeah.
I was gutted, to be honest. I was genuinely quite heartbroken about it. Obviously, we've both sort of known them as Commander Zavala in Destiny 2 for a long time.
Close we
Yeah.
came
But
to another
I think we
world
both
above.
know him from a lot of other properties, films,
Cannot
shows
afford
as
to lose
well.
Kettle as an ally.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was still quite young. He was only 60. It's not like he was a really old guy.
It's
yeah.
a sad passing,
It is.
as most are. And so we're going to be doing 2 streams,
Yeah.
and we're going to try our best not to make it too serious, but at the same time we don't want to be having too much of a laugh as well, because it is quite serious
So
stream.
much has changed.
Yeah, I
Today,
think
anyway.
it's
When I
we sort
became
of what I think
commander,
the aim was to sort of focus on him, the characters he created,
Yeah.
trying to be respectful, but also trying to sort of celebrate and talk positively about those characters and what we appreciate about them. I think is fair.
Then yes, that does include the Resident Evil character, but
Yeah,
we'll
well,
get onto that.
we'll talk about. I think for this one we were gonna, because I know you
Yeah.
know a lot more about
Yeah.
Destiny than I do, certainly, and I think we were gonna let you. We're gonna in this one talk a lot about the character
Yeah.
Commander Zavala and what he brought to it, and then in mine we'll talk about the other characters as well.
Yeah. So, I say we're saying we're gonna do 2 streams, 45 minutes for both of them. Obviously, because I'm more of the Destiny expert, so we're gonna talk about Zavala in my stream, and then any other things he's been in, like John Wick, The Wire, even though neither of us have seen The Wire.
Yeah, I mean, one of the main ones I'll probably want to talk about is Fringe, which was a series he was in.
I have
So-
not seen that.
That's fine. I will talk a lot about it anyway.
So
I think actually by the time I've finished talking about it, you'll want to watch it.
believe she'd stay.
Probably.
So,
So yeah, what we're gonna be doing is we're just gonna be doing strikes because that's Zavala's thing. He does the Vanguard strikes.
That's it.
So I think we're gonna get into that now.
Howdy.
But yeah, so I'll wait till we get into the strikes to
Requisition approved.
get into talk
Yeah.
about.
Shall we get some bounties from him?
Yeah.
Let's get some bounties from him.
Very
Let him
good.
show his face.
So we just circle over his face, saying how it says. But yeah. Let us
Okay.
know when you grabbed them.
I've got mine. I'll just run and get some of the air weapon ones as well.
Okay.
And then we can begin. Can I suppose one question to ask, and this may be an interesting way of doing it, is to a degree me asking some questions about Commander Zavala, because obviously I know a bit about him having played it, but nowhere near as much as you know. And I suppose the first thing I was curious about, literally from when I was making the little memorial video I made, is Commander Zavala in Destiny 1?
Yes, he is.
So he's not just in this one, he's been in it since
No,
the start.
he's been in it since the beginning.
Right.
So yes, he's very much played an essential role in my video gaming experience. Yeah. So it is. Commander Zavala has been in it since Destiny 1. You don't really talk to him much in Destiny 1 because in Destiny 1 it was whichever class you picked, so Hunter, Warlock, or Titan, that was the one you went to talk to, that was the one you went to go see about continuing the story and stuff like that.
Right, so you didn't interact with the different ones like you do in this one?
No, not really. And it was I never actually interacted with him that much anyway, because the only time I played Destiny 1, I was playing as a Warlock or a Hunter. So I never got to interact with Zavala in Destiny 1. But I do always remember, because he was in the cutscenes and other parts, like I'm trying to think if they had, you know, like when they do the sort of like drawings cutscenes where it's like a stop motion one, like those animation ones. I'm trying to think if they had any of them in Destiny 1, but I can't remember. But yeah, so Zavala, obviously, is the Titan Vanguard. He's basically the head of the Titans, pretty much. He is awoken, like Aldrin Saw's, well, Crow and Queen Mara.
And me.
I was getting to you.
Yeah, thanks.
But yeah, and he took over from Saint 14 being the Titan Vanguard, which you might not have known, but Saint 14 was the original Titan Vanguard before Zavala came along and took over. I say took over as if he took over the place, not in a violent way.
Win a fight, but they feel good.
But yeah,
And feeling good is
I've always thought of Zavala as in the character as. Oh wait, are you ready to do strikes?
Yep, I'm ready whenever you are.
I've always had a lot of respect for the character from the point of view of the player, because he's very much a powerful guardian, and he obviously he's the commander. You take orders from him a lot, and I remember the first time playing the Red War campaign, the original campaign for Destiny 2, and the scene where he slams onto the table, and I was about, let's see, 6 years ago, so 12 when I first saw that scene, and I just remember thinking, like, at this point, all the Guardians have lost a light, yet he still seems powerful.
Yeah.
And it was just a powerful scene, if you've seen it.
I think that you mentioned something there that I'd actually thought about, which was you mentioned about how sort of that you respect him because he actually comes across as a very intelligent, patient, calm but powerful character, and it's and I say this not in jest, quite seriously. The impression we have of each class of character is very clear. We imagine the hunters in a certain way. We imagine the warlocks in a certain way. And we imagine the titans as these, not necessarily stupid, but big, charging, rooting, you know, they're all about power. They're like almost like the Juggernaut in X-Men. And whilst he has that huge, powerful build, he's very, very different. He almost reminds me as if you took the power of Juggernaut, but you gave the intelligence and the temperament of a Professor Xavier, and you combine those two together.
Yeah. And it's interesting because obviously we think of Titans as the class that charge headfirst into things.
Yeah.
Every time you see Zavala use a super, he doesn't use an attacking one, he's used a defensive one. In the Red War, when the Red Legion are attacking the tower, he uses the bubble super to protect everybody there. And I think it's very rare you actually see him raise a gun in one of the scenes. And it just seemed like he mainly thought of defending rather than attacking, and that's alright, I'm up to features, don't worry about it. But yeah, it was very interesting because he seemed to always, from what I remember anyway, he always used a defensive super, and there are very few times he raised a gun, and it just seemed like he didn't have to charge headfirst to be powerful. He just, and like you said, he was calm. It's like, especially when the season of the Worthy, where Crow has his mask on and he defends Zavala, and Zavala I don't think approves of Crow, mainly because of who he was in his past life, or himself, the murderer of Cade. But Crow defends Zavala, but his mask comes off, and but Crow's on the ground. Zavala just looks at him and raises his hand to help him up. And I thought that shows a little growth in the character, who never seems to be angry at most things, but
the bridge is lowering. Let's move.
Obviously when it comes to your friend being killed and you are killer, but in a body that he doesn't remember anything that he did or anything like that. Hard.
I think as well, if you think about what they're called Guardians. And that implies that their job is to guard, to protect. And so often we see these characters in cutscenes charging in, shooting, and we even see, I think, if I remember right, in some of the cutscenes, we see some of the other species talk about how they see the Guardians. Yeah. They don't see them as protectors. They see them almost as like immortal killers.
And
it's a fair point that how they're seen is very different.
Yeah.
But what you see of him is, as you say, he is
Dude,
someone
why are
who
you
doesn't.
dead all the way over there?
Because, and I was trying not to mention this to kill the
Okay.
flow of things, but I literally died near the thing, and it constantly respawns me on a ledge, so I
Okay.
can't actually do anything.
Right.
It just keeps respawning me on this ledge where I can't get back up.
Okay.
So I will just rejoin you when you get to
I was just questioning that for the time being.
That's fair. It's fair.
But yeah. It's funny you mentioned that, because one of the cutscenes about Saint 14, I think was Season of the Splicer, the Fallen were talking about how they viewed Saint 14, and they viewed him as you said, an immortal. They basically viewed him as an immortal demon who dragged the Fallen into the bubble, and they
That's
never
the,
came
yeah,
out
I
of the
think
bubble.
that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, we see Saint as this hero, but we would never have thought anything like more monstrous or anything out of that, because obviously we see that he's just defending the humanity, yet obviously that's not how the other species would view it.
It's perspective, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And but I think with Zavala, there's no perspective to it. Well, you may not like the side he's on, but as you say, we don't see him as this brutal, and that in itself wouldn't be anything special. But the fact that he is a Titan, you know, they are these big, massive powerhouses,
Yeah.
and the Lance as the voice actor for him. I mean, for anyone who hasn't seen Lance Reddick, he's not a big guy. I mean, he's tallish. He's kind of, you know, he's got a presence to him, but he's not some big powerhouse at all.
And he does
yet
such a good job at voicing him.
Absolutely,
Because
he makes the
calm
character.
and stuff. Lance himself is much more calm, and but his voice was powerful as well as being calm, so it fits the pilot so well.
Yeah.
And it just worked.
Yeah.
Really, really well. But yeah.
Well, I still remember when I first played this game with you, and when I first went over and spoke to him, and I did say to you, I'm sure I recognise his voice from somewhere. And
Yeah,
I mean, we'll talk more about where I'd heard his voice on my stream, but very quickly it was a memorable voice. You remembered it, you knew who it was, and it was like, yeah, I know this voice. And and lo and behold, it was exactly who I thought it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and it, in fairness as well, and I won't sort of take away too much because I know we're focusing on Destiny 2 here. But he has voice acted a number of other games. I think Horizon, and he was in that as well. So, you know, it's he's clearly done voice acting as much as he's done actual acting. He's got the skills to do both.
Do you feel it?
Yeah.
As I do, Guardian?
And I remember at one point in the game,
A hatred as pure
it's in
and potent
the-
as sunshine,
it's in the Forsaken
soaking
campaign
through your skin.
that
Ashladu knows what the Guardians have
it's
done.
Cade's like sort of memorial
She
after he's
watched as her
been
lineage
killed,
fell, one
and
after
Ikora's
the
like, we will get every
Ota.
Guardian and we will hunt down
Oryx.
Aldrin Sov.
Omnigul,
And Zavala
and
just
she
simply says
is eager
no.
to
And
return
at first,
that
because
pain.
Cade was obviously my favourite Vanguard, he's my favourite character, I was like, what? Sort of the same reaction that Ikora had to him saying no. But after he explains to himself, just like, I don't want to risk another Guardian being killed over it. So I was just there, it's like, his reasoning makes sense. Do I agree with him? No, but his reason for it makes sense.
I can imagine, because obviously I got into this when Cade, the character Cade, was already dead. He died, I think, I think it was one of the first ones I played was the one where you were explaining to me how he'd been killed or something.
Yeah.
And but obviously I've since seen more stuff with Cade in, and it's quite interesting because for me, Cade and Svala back then when the two of them were together, they must have been like the perfect, almost double act, perfect sort of foil for each other.
Every time they have dialogue together, it's like it's Cade always like making fun of Svala, but always in a sort of respectful manner. Like he's making fun of him, but he still respects him. Like he's not doing it to make fun of him.
But that's it. You have those different types of characters to bounce off each other, and obviously with someone like Cade, I'm finally back in the game, by the way.
And we're going up the elevator. Bye.
Ah, so I'm still not in the game.
It's alright. You'll die at some point.
Oh, good. That's helpful.
Yeah. What were you saying?
Yeah, I think a character is only as good as the characters that they have to bounce off. If you've got a very good character, but the other characters around them are very similar to them, they don't really stand out. And I think Svala being the one Titan that is more thoughtful, more measured and calm, it's what makes him stand out. I think if he'd been, say for example, a Warlock, he wouldn't have stood out in the same way. And I think, in fairness, I think that's where with respect to the character, I think, as well as having the right actor, the right voice actor, it's also really important to have the right design for the character, and the people that designed the character did a very good job as well, because having this calm presence, but he's built like an absolute unit.
Yeah.
You know, it's a perfect sort of dichotomy, like a nice balance between the two.
He gradually, after the sake, became one of my favourite characters. Because every scene he had, it became powerful. Just from the lines that he had, like in Witch Queen, when he was talking about basically, just like he was asking, like he was questioning the Traveller, just like why would the Traveller give the life to food? Why would he do this? And he was like confused, but yet he had a plan in mind, and it was to take the light back, and it was still a powerful scene to me, and yeah.
I always thought as well, and you'd be able to tell me if I'm right on this more than anything, I'm only going off what I've seen, but I always got the impression that he was probably the one that had the strongest faith in the Traveller as well.
He did.
Or one of, anyway.
That is partially because, I don't think you'll remember this character, but the Speaker, his character that was in Destiny 1 and in the Red War campaign but got killed in that campaign. He and Zavala seem to have quite a bit of a friendship, and the Speaker basically spoke for the Traveller. So him and Zavala having that friendship sort of meant that they basically learned from each other, the Travellers, teaching and stuff like that. And it's just, I think I'll touch on this now. So, I think you asked me before the stream started, would I want Zavala to be recast, or what I want him to be written off /
Yeah, I suppose the thing I was... Oh, are you kidding me?
I tried to revive you, but I was on this high.
No, I just meant that we all there. Yeah, I think that I suppose the question is in general, what happens to the Commanders of Arla character? Obviously, that is in no way important right now.
Yeah.
But the reason I think it is important is, as we'll sort of probably talk about
Here she
separately,
comes.
Lance himself was a big fan and player
He was,
of Destiny 2,
yeah.
right? And we'll talk about that separately, but he was a huge fan of it. So it matters to him. And also because this is the kind of game that is like a live, ongoing game, it's literally a way of him living on, or him getting maybe a nicer ending and being remembered. I think as long as the game is played, he will be remembered within it. So, in that sense, I suppose the question is, what happens to the character? Is it that like you mentioned there, would it be for him to be recast so the character lives on, but with someone else voicing it? Do they keep the character on and stick with the voice lines they already have of him?
Yeah.
You know, they can do that. Or does the character move on? Either he just is written out of it, or dies in some sort of heroic way. And I'll shut up now and let you answer. But that's sort of the gist of what I was asking.
Yeah. I think I'd prefer it if there was a heroic sacrifice to the character. Mainly because obviously Lance has had this character, has played this character for almost 10 years now. I think we're on year 9 of Destiny as a whole. Not Destiny 2, but just Destiny as a franchise.
Yeah.
I think recasting him would just be
It's over. Hash Ladoon is dead.
not disrespectful,
This is a
but
relief to hear, but
disrespectful.
Hash Ladoon's presence.
Yes,
Um,
no, I think it would be. I
Yeah.
agree.
Hive
I agree.
must have grander ambitions for the pyramid's influences.
And I
So-
don't think he doesn't have a
Return to
voice
me.
that anyone else would
There
be
is
able
much
to
to
replace.
discuss.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like the calm and powerful voice that we have now, it's like we wouldn't have that. So it would just be hard to recast him, I think, because you'd have to, if you didn't get it right, the whole character's messed up then. So it's just a case of, do you try and recast him and risk ruining a character, or do you kill off the character? And I think, again, I said to you before the stream, if they did a like Oliver Queen sacrifice,
Yeah.
I'd be happy with that, because I remember watching Oliver Queen dying and crying my eyes out. So if they did something like that for Destiny, I would, one, I'd hate Destiny because they made me cry, but two, I'd love it because the character has had a good send-off that you would expect from that character.
I did actually have one idea, but I don't know whether it would work. So, you knowing a lot more of this, I thought I'd run it by you. Because obviously, the sad thing with killing him off is he died. He actually is, the actor passed away. And the character being then dead would also, that's it, he's sort of gone. And I did have a sort of two-part idea as to what would be a way to honour him, but also take him away. And that would be, is there some way in which he could become one with the Traveler. You know, like his ghost, the light from his ghost almost reunites with the Traveler. So it's almost like he's there as part of the Traveler.
Greetings, Captain.
Not
Commander
too
Zavala has
sure about
requested
that.
that I run tactical on this
think.
mission.
I
Please
think it's
allow me
just
to
like
help you with your invasion
your
of the
ghost
inside
has
terminus.
to die for you to die
Hello, Failsafe.
in
What
the
can you
game.
tell us about this terminus?
So
I have not detected significant Vex
the ghost,
activity in
so
that
once
area
the ghost
since
is
shortly
dead,
after the Exodus
it's
Black
not
arrived.
really
But
Well,
couldn't the
anything
ghost
connecting you.
Maybe we won't
reunite
run
with
into
such
much
because
resistance.
the ghost has light from the
Yeah,
Traveler,
but
doesn't
since
it?
Yeah,
death
but
kinda
once
follows
that
you around,
once that ghost is
I
dead,
wouldn't count on that.
the person's
But-
connection
Positive as
to
ever, I
the
see.
traveller is severed.
But that's what I'm saying is the ghost wouldn't be dead. The ghost would reunite with the Traveler, his light. So effectively, Vala's own light within the ghost would reunite with them. Basically, what I'm thinking of is it's a way of him being forever written out, but also forever still there. It's like he's almost always watching over them, which is
Yeah.
effectively as if he was dead and it was his spirit watching over, but in a more canonized way. The other thing I was thinking of as well is we were saying before he's a player of this game, isn't he?
Yes.
And what would be really interesting is if they literally just looked at what his character, his main character, was like, and made that into a character in the game.
That would actually be a good idea.
Because it wouldn't have to be his voice; it could be anyone voicing it, but
then
it would
make
be
his character.
a canon
Yeah.
character in story. Yeah.
That I like more than the whole like the reuniting thing. Mainly because I don't think that's how it works.
And that's fair enough. I certainly don't know how it works.
Because I'm pretty sure the way it works is once your ghost is dead, the light in that ghost is gone. There's no way of reconnecting to the light once your ghost is dead. So I'm pretty sure that's how it works. If there is a thing of like basically becoming one with the light, like Force ghosts and stuff like that, I'm open to it, but I like the idea of looking at his character, what his character looks like, making that character an NPC. Doesn't even have to be a vendor or anything, can just be a guardian in the tower.
Yeah, it could. You know what would be really nice is if it's just a guardian in the tower that walks around and is in a different place each day.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean?
Occasionally
And just
stops
says,
where Zavala was.
yeah, just little things like that. So he's always being remembered, and you could even call that guardian Lance.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it'd just be. I think that'd be a really nice way. So he's not just remembered as as this Captain Commander Zavala. He's remembered as him.
Yeah. And alongside that, would mean
I'm making the elimination
the
cargo
Vanguard,
priority on this operation.
well, the
His
vendor
crew
for
has been
the
active all over the system.
strikes and
From our
everything
intel,
would have
he's
to
mostly
change.
targeting Vex
Obviously,
installations.
that would
Yeah.
possibly
However,
go down to
Removing
Ikora,
him can only strengthen our
seeing as
position.
she would be the only Vanguard
Looking
member
down.
left. And I feel like if they had a bust like they do with Cade, if they had a bust of Zavala, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
Because have you gone up to the bust of Cade
I
and
have
heard
good
all the
news
voice lines?
Yeah.
and bad
Well, I don't know if I've heard all of them, but I have heard.
Give
Well,
us the good
heard.
news first.
The voice
According
lines.
to the Vex,
Um,
Targan has almost
something like
complete
that,
control over the local Vex state
alongside
network. I predict several
the
detachments of
NPC
Cabal
character
over
that
the
you were
next
talking
few
about.
minutes.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be
I said
a
give us the
great
good
way
news first.
to remember him.
I did.
I think that
They
that'd
would
be
possibly,
really
if
nice.
they are gonna obviously kill him off in a heroic sacrifice, it would probably just be the bust of Zavala. mainly because with all the other NPCs, they don't really walk around so much. So having one that walks around all the time,
Kargan is getting
I
dangerously
think
skilled at
coding
manipulating this
wise
Vex architecture.
wouldn't
Maybe if
work
we catch
Yeah.
him,
great.
he
I
can
think
give Keen a
maybe they
lesson
could
or
just
two.
have him be in a different place each day.
Oh, so you don't mean physically seeing him move, you just mean
No,
he
no.
moves.
He would just be, as in he would just move from place to place
Right,
each time he
okay.
logged in.
Right.
I mean, you could have him walk around a little bit, you know, in the same way some of the people in the tower, you see them amble a little bit from left to right.
Yeah,
But they're
that's-
generally in that one
yeah.
location.
That would be a good idea. Because I feel like
Yeah.
they could have him be in violent areas.
All right, we need one more. Keep
That
an
would
eye out
be
for another
the way
Cabal
I
drop or
wanted
Centurion.
to go.
Yeah, I think that'd be nice. I suppose one thing I'd say though is, because he's got a wife, hasn't he? And I think what would be nice is to just ask her at a later date. Obviously, right now is not the time for it to begin the game, but maybe ask, would she like him to be remembered within the game? Because I mean, I've seen pictures of him at conventions with like mock-ups of the weapons, and you know, he's so into. I mean, he's obviously a big fan of gaming, but very much so Destiny. And I think, you know, she would understand that that's something he's into and really like.
Yeah.
And I think when she actually thanked his fans, she actually specifically thanked the Destiny 2 fans.
Yeah.
Like, she specifically said them because she was aware of how they'd, you know, everyone, you know, us and lots of other people have done sorts of streams remembering him, have done like things in the tower to remember him.
Yeah.
So, you know, he obviously appreciates that, and it would be nice for her perspective to be taken in consideration, you know,
Yeah.
when she's ready. There's no rush because they can't do anything right now because the season is still ongoing. And probably the next season is already
And
planned and made.
I'm assuming he's already done voice lines.
Yes,
for
yes,
some of the
he will have
campaigns.
done. The
Probably-
next season will already be done. Like
Yeah.
they'll everything will be done
Whether
for at
he's
least
done,
the next season.
whether he's done all the other voice lines and stuff like that, like going to the final shape, which is the next campaign, that's another question. Because I feel like, I think he might have, but they haven't really said if they've even started doing voice lines for that.
Yeah.
But I feel like because you've got a voice actor, it would be easiest if you've got something planned just to have him record all the lines at once, pretty much. Well, not at once, like in one day, but at once as it.
Yeah, in one sitting.
Yeah.
You know, he could have already done like the next 3 seasons.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean? Already.
Because it's motion capture and it's not his face, they could easily just have somebody else doing the motion capture, and obviously his voice is just over it.
Oh yeah, and I would say for as long as they have his lines for, keep him in it. You know, keep him in it for as long as possible.
Yeah.
And when they reach the end of that, you know, then just speak to his wife and say, well, look, would you like us to just keep him in and we use lines we already have? We use footage that we've got. What does she want? And we just go with that.
There's Kargan.
I mean, AI can do many things, like.
Oh yeah, you can absolutely digitize someone's voice
Because
and then make lines.
if you have their voice, obviously ask beforehand. Just like, look, we know we've ran out of the lines that is already done. Is it okay if we do this? Then, by all means, that's fine. I'd rather you once you've run out of the lines, you either just use the lines you already have. Don't
One down,
mess
two
with
to go.
the AI to make different lines. Like, use the lines you already have and don't kill them off, or sadly, kill them off.
I mean, one thing they could do, if they really wanted to, is use the lines they've recorded for the next season or the next couple of seasons. Save some of them, don't use them, and use them in different contexts. Similar to like, and I won't get too much into this, but in Star Wars Episode 9, all the footage that's there of Princess Leia and the dialogue she uses was actually recorded for the film before it.
Yeah.
And they just cut it out and saved it. Another thing they could use is the guy is an actor. He will have done a ton of other films where there is loads of edited out footage that they could literally take and use. And obviously you'd have to change the dialogue to make it fit with what's being said.
Yeah.
But say, for example, in a deleted scene in Fringe, if he says, just come back safe, well, you easily fit that into a piece of dialogue in this. Because it's not a very different voice. You know, he doesn't need
The
to
only
change
voice
his voice
I'd
very
say
much.
for him would be different would be the receptionist in John Wick. Because he has an accent in that.
Yeah.
If
That
all of a
one's
sudden
different.
Zavala came out saying something in that accent, I'd be like, hold on a second. wait.
That would be an odd one. Unless they were doing some wacky alternate reality version.
Unless they were doing
Which-
a John Wick crossover, then that would be. Gosh. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's actually some good ideas. But I think, as we said, what it comes down to is what would his family like?
Yeah.
What would they want? And what would make them feel better? If they said, you know what, as long as he's alive in this game, it makes us feel like he's still out there somewhere. Well, if that's the case, his character never dies. As long as this game is going, he is still a part of it. And I don't care how they do it. I don't care if they reuse lines. I don't care if it's AI. If that's what they want, then that's what should happen. If they said they'd like to see, you know, that it's actually quite painful to see that, and they would rather see him written out, then it's like, how do you want that to happen? So they want him to retire, he goes off to a nice little planet somewhere, and that's it, fine, that's what happens. But I think
I think he'd have to retire after the final shape, mainly because there's too much going on for him to retire.
oh yeah,
at the
well,
minute.
what's already in play, they can't
Yeah.
do much about. That would have to stay.
Suppose the Thanos just in the middle of the battle, just like, yeah, let me just sit on the farm.
Doesn't Captain Commander Zavala's character, am I right that he actually had a wife?
Yes. In season of the and he's the one that.
Right, that's where
Because they see nightmares of something to do with like something they regret or something like that.
Do you know what would be? Do you know what would be really, really good, and it would just be a really nice thing?
A cutscene to do with her. Like,
Well,
every
if
night
they,
or something like that.
if they either brought her back to life, or he dies, and then you see his eyes open, and he's in the afterlife with her, but they have her voiced by his wife.
That would work.
And he just opens his eyes, and he doesn't need to say anything, and she just says, "I've missed you," and you know, and I love you, and you see the two of them walking off together. That would be, for me, that would be lovely, and it would be a way of her being able to say, you know, almost a goodbye to him, but saying goodbye, but she's not actually saying goodbye. You know, something like that. I think would be amazing.
Just pause on the seriousness. That guy just teabagged me. Yet we're on the same team, and he could have revived me in the amount of time it took him to teabag me. Yet he didn't. And he's the last guy who's standing at the moment. And
Not being very. He's not really using the team spirit.
yeah, no, not really. Anyhow, back to
Yeah, he's just done
talking
the same
about-
thing to me.
Yeah. Okay, I say we don't convince him at the end of this.
Yeah, we're certainly not giving him any of the awards.
We commend ourselves.
Well, we commend each
Ow.
other.
Ourselves. Us too. Dude, he's just been sent flying off the edge. Oh.
Great, now we're all dead.
God, you see, this would have been a lot easier if...
He wasn't a douchebag.
Exactly. Under a company of all I'm doing, sharing out content. That is good news, guys. Good to hear, Queen Bee. Well, not about the lightning, but sharing the content out.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. We're really glad to hear that there's lightning. That's probably not the right...
You don't want to get struck by lightning. Cow.
No.
1 down, 2 to go.
No? No, it's lightning. No, isn't.
No, as in, I probably didn't even hear what you said.
I said cow.
Oh, no, I definitely didn't hear that.
Thank you, Queen Bee. See you in another stream, possibly.
See you later.
But yeah, so it would be interesting to see if he has done. Obviously, this is if he has done voice work for the final shape.
I mean, I would be very surprised if he hasn't. Because
Yeah.
I think these things are usually done quite a bit in
ahead
advance.
of schedule, so they can get things ready for it, get it test screened and stuff like that. Or test screened, test played.
Put it this way, whilst we're playing this season, I normally assume they've already
good
finished.
to see you, Queen Bee. Thanks for stopping by.
Take care.
But yeah, what was it you were saying about the season?
Yeah, I think when we start playing this one, they've already finished making the next one.
Yeah, I think
Or at least the majority. Everything bar maybe some polishing.
because everything has to be tested. Like the mechanics have to be tested.
Absolutely.
Everything. The weapons need to be tested. If they have any updates, the abilities, they have to be tested.
Bug fixes, all kinds of stuff.
They need to make sure
So I think the next one will already be set.
Yeah.
The question is more whether the one after it, whether he's already recorded dialogue or not.
Hey Pink, we're doing good. Doing a chat about one character in this whose voice actor has sadly passed away. Doing good. Saber's with me as well.
Hey Pink.
Says hi, obviously. And he's doing good as well.
This guy is good. We're better.
But yeah. But yeah, I think because you've got to get everything, you got to get everything checked, make sure everything's good to play. And we've apparently already heard that we're going to be getting a third darkness subclass. So if there are already rumours about that, mainly
Those
because
things are already well done.
Yeah. So, and that would be the next campaign. That wouldn't be a season release. That would be the next campaign.
Yeah.
Might find post. Yeah. That a community post for the weather would be a good idea. Green Bay. That would be a good idea. How you doing?
There we go.
Both our days are going pretty well, Pink. Thanks for asking.
Secure,
How is
Commander
your
Zod.
day going?
Good work, Guardian. What intel did you discover?
There's only one data artifact.
But yeah, so I have a
labeled
feeling
Oxa,
that he
and
might
it's
be in it
seriously
till
corrupted. Metadata says it was last accessed by
his
an
voice
Oxod centuries
lines
ago.
that they have Reddy
What
are
is Oxa?
there
And who is Otzot?
for the final shape.
Those are questions for another
Do
day, I
not
suppose.
commend him.
But for now, well done.
There he is.
Considerate, kind, and whatever for you. You don't get nothing. That's good to hear. Good to hear that you're relaxing. We're just doing strikes, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
definitely not giving an award to this
You could have
douchebag.
easily revived
Both of us. Both
of us. Multiple times.
Ah.
Yet decided to teabag us instead. There is no way I am giving this man anything. And we have gone over the 45-minute mark.
All right. Well, it's up to you. Did you
6
want to
minutes
do
ago.
one? Well, I'll tell you what. Should we aim for an hour instead?
We'll do one more. We'll do one.
Go on then. So if we do one more, and then we'll just take a 5-minute break while we swap round,
Yeah.
and then we'll do a bit of a stream
if
on
we
my
need a
channel
drink,
talking
we'll
about
grab
his
a
other
drink
roles and
so,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it is a sad passing that he's gone, and he's played a big, as I said at the start, he's played a big role in my experience of the game because of.
I think one of the things that makes it such a big deal, which I think we spoke about a little bit at the start, was he's actually, and I don't think we ever got to this then, but he's actually a big fan and player of the game himself.
Yeah, we actually haven't got to that. I think
we never really got into
we
that.
mentioned it saying about the NPC.
Yeah, we mentioned it.
But we didn't go into it. Apparently it was discovered that apparently on the eve of his passing he was actually playing the game.
Yeah, it was actually there was a picture of him on Instagram or Pinterest. I think it was Instagram of him playing the game, and it's just so nice to imagine this guy who's made this game, who's been a part of making it, and yet, exactly like us, he's just a fan sat at home playing the game.
Yeah.
You know, I sort of found myself thinking. I mean,
very few voice actors for games actually play their games unless they're doing it for promotional.
Yeah.
It's very rare.
Or they might have played the game when they were younger or something. But yeah, I mean, I know Ronda Rousey. She did some voice. I think it was voice work or motion cap work as Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat, because she was saying she was a big Mortal Kombat fan. But it is rare. And what was really nice was, I was sort of thinking, back when I first started playing this, and even to a degree now, one of my favourite things to do is just hang around on one of the pick a random planet and hang out there, just complete bounties, just relax and wander around. And I found myself thinking, chances are, at some point or another, whilst I was randomly walking around, one of the planets, I would have just walked right past him.
Yeah.
And he would have been right there. Each one of us has probably played a game with him or against him in, in Mayhem or something. And that was just such a lovely thought that this is a guy we've actually played the game with.
Oh, we possibly could have.
Never. Yeah, and that's it. Chances are, when you think how long we've both played this, you especially, obviously, but both of us. And, there's a very good chance he was just playing the game alongside us.
Yeah.
One of those
It's interesting to think about it that way.
Yeah.
I do actually quite
Put
like
it this
that
way,
thought.
I think, in my head, that's how I'm thinking it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I bet we played together, and can't prove it, can't prove that we didn't, but why not? That sounds nice.
Yeah.
My war machine
It's a nice thought to have.
She hungers for
Yeah.
battle. Have you the
We
same
could have been
appetite?
playing with him, and we were streaming at the same time, so we could have done
Yeah.
a stream with.
He could have been one of those guys that was teabagging us.
Guardians,
He could have like whooped us and then teabagged us, and we're like, God damn you! And it's like, dude, that's
could have
Lance
been-
Reddick.
He could have been the guy who revived you when you didn't even.
That could have been it. Yeah. Back when I
Wow,
couldn't
you
make
swore-
a jump without
you
dying.
swore at Lance. How dare you?
With all the greatest of respect. Stop teabagging me, Lance. That'd have been. But yeah, it's a really nice thought. He's a genuine gamer.
Yeah.
You know. And the idea as well, I know we were saying about how, you know, he's actually quite young to have passed away of natural causes. He was 60 when he passed away.
Yeah.
And yet, the idea of this 60-year-old man sat at home playing Destiny 2, and that made me go, do you know
and I
what?
both know that's how we're
I'm
gonna
okay.
end up.
I'm okay.
You and
I mean,
I
I'm
both know.
42 now, but I'm like, yeah, in 18 years, I probably still will be sat here playing on video
sweet
games.
Jesus, it's 18 years until you're 60.
Yeah, yeah. Me plus you equals.
Oh, thank God,
Alright,
somebody
now
was alive
I'm
for
the
that.
last Guardian standing.
Hide! Hide!
No, it's okay. I'll just come and resurrect this guy. And now I'll come and find you.
Hey, bud, how you doing?
Oh, you're up there. Okay.
Yeah, try and make the jump.
Excellent. Oh, I was about to resurrect you.
I wasn't paying attention. I didn't see you show up on the screen.
Dude. Betrayed.
I mean, you weren't betrayed, I just saved you the hassle of getting out of the last guy.
No, I still had the hassle. You just resurrected yourself before I could do anything.
Yeah, you took it on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Have
That's
you seen-
actually
I mean,
given me a different perspective on the whole thing. Once you told me that. The whole always punching in tag games or something like that. That's an interesting thought, and I quite like that.
it's a nice, because when you think about it, in the time, certainly in the time you've played this, but in the time for both of us, I'm going to say, we will have played with thousands of different, you know, people.
Yeah.
You know, or not necessarily played, but if you think, every time I jump into the tower, how many different people are there?
Yeah.
When you go to a planet and you just wander around the planet, how many different Guardians are live on that planet then? How many different players? So if you think, in the last, even just in the last, say, 3 years, well, what the odds are good. The odds are very high.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not very often I see a name and go, oh, I recognize that name, which implies we're often playing with different people. So, you add those odds together, chances are it's happened.
Yeah.
Especially when you think of things like the Guardian games, when people are on all the time till the early hours of the morning trying to get as many medals as they can. You know, I mean, I remember one year with the Guardian games, I was there, I was on nights, so on my nights off, I was just doing things on repeat till about sort of 7:30 the next morning.
Yeah. But here's the question. What class was it?
That's an interesting one. I bet it wasn't a Titan.
I bet it wasn't a Titan.
Your guardians scurry through
I
my
actually
tank
think
like
he would have been a
vermin.
Warlock.
Is this how the
I mean,
Vanguard fights its
I
war?
saw a video of
this
him
with your
playing the game.
We need not
It
slaughter
was
every cabal
always,
in
it
your
was
army.
when people
Do
talking
not
about it in
expect
passing,
gratitude.
and
Those
I'm
you
trying to
leave
remember
behind
what
will
the it showed
They
the
will learn.
abilities. So I'm trying to remember
You
what
would
abilities
attack
were
my
there to
tank
try and
directly?
tell me which
It is
was
sacred to my men.
which class it
They
was.
will fight as though its oil were
I
blood.
think I saw a knife, but I don't know.
That's you just wanting him to be off on set.
No, I'm generally pretty sure. I think I saw a knife. It may have been.
Let's be honest, there is every chance it would just be a Titan. Because if you think about it, if you were actually in the game, you're gonna try and make a character that looks like your character, aren't you?
Yes.
So there's a very good chance he just made a Titan.
Yeah, that's true. Dude, if I was in this game, I'd love it.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
I'd love to do some voice acting in this game.
Even if you were just like, you know, if you were one of the just the background characters wandering around, going on about the weather, just eagerly look and go, that one's me. That one's me.
Just the one NPC telling Tess to shut up about giving the girl an emote about thumbs
Yeah.
up.
It's like, I don't give a damn if you gave anyone a thumbs up, okay?
Screw you guys, I'm going in.
When someone just goes, Ben Church says a lot of fantastical things, I tend to believe him. I'd be the one going, man, I don't give a damn what you believe. Shut up, Kyle. Shut up. Or just, there should just be a character that wanders around mimicking people. So when someone says, I tend to believe him, you tend to believe him? So I gave him a thumbs up, and he'd just be like, that would just be the coolest character ever. It'd basically be Cartman.
Yeah.
Someone walking around being Cartman.
Just without a lot of
Yeah.
less racism.
Yeah. Just without the things that are going to get the game cancelled.
Speaking of which, South Park has 26 seasons. Hasn't been cancelled once. Someone explain that to me, please.
Well, there must be a good reason for that. Oh, let me get there. Do not let me get killed, guys. I'll need some help making sure I don't die.
I'm sorry, what was that? I can hear you off the
Just
web.
trying. Oh, there we go. I survived. Oh, I don't know. I was doing something and I was asking you to make sure I didn't get killed. I wasn't up here. I wasn't even in this room. I was... Oh yeah, I was. I was down here.
Oh my god.
Put the orb. Did I put the orb in?
Yeah.
Ah. Okay. I succeeded then. Don't me.
Yeah. Yeah. Either way, whatever they do with Commands of Valor, whatever they do to memorialize Lance in the game,
Your warriors are merciless, Commander.
to memorialize him in the
Are
game, which
all light bearers
they might. They'll
bloodthirsty?
probably make an
My
exotic
guardians
and
do
name
what they
it
must.
after him or something like that.
They must
Oh,
be
that would be
champions.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I look forward to seeing
Titan,
that.
prepare your champion.
Oh, I've
Yeah.
got a good one. They
Exotic
should literally,
wave
because
called a
there's...
lance.
Yeah, well, there is a weapon called a lance.
Yeah.
So that it basically be like
Now,
the,
the final trial.
what do they call it, the
Against the
glaive.
champion of the Cabal.
And they could just call it the red lance.
Yeah.
You know, just
How
something like
poshly
that.
you said lance then. The red
Lance.
lance.
The red lance.
The meat killed me. I am the dinosaurs.
Oh, I died.
They have the right idea, they done it. Yeah, if they're not gonna kill off the Valor, okay, at least give him a weapon, kinda. I'd like for a weapon have something to do with his name. As long as it's Lance and Red and not Dion.
Yeah, yeah. That would not work well.
But yeah, it will. I look forward to seeing how the memorializes because there's no doubt that he will. That they will. Just how they do it will.
That's the only thing that's up for debate, yeah.
But yeah. And obviously when we see that is another thing. But yeah.
Yep.
I would like to say though, if Bunch do make a weapon and call it the Red Lance, copyright?
Yeah, yeah.
Do we
I
choose
just had this image of Bungie just listening to our conversation going,
Yeah.
let's get all this down, this is good stuff here.
Someone make notes! Someone hire him! Make him a
Don't
voice
hire
actor.
them. Just listen to them and steal their ideas. Why pay them money?
Quick, make that younger one a voice actor for us.
Title.
Yay.
Your champion falls. The
Excuse
right
me?
of proving is over. By the victor's rule. the
Ooh, I got
helpless
a
and the souls
catalyst for a
aboard
weapon.
Are yours to destroy.
Well,
We
good
take
for
nothing but
you.
your word. Tend
Okay,
to
this
your
one we
men at your
will
tank,
give
but
commandment
break
to the
our
other
agreement,
person
and
because they
we will
deserve
be
it.
back to finish what we started.
There you go, Saber. You get the Joybringer commandment.
Oh, thank you.
What do I get?
You get... You can have thoughtful.
Yay! I'm very thoughtful. Talking about dead guy with a skull mask on. Yeah, I didn't think that's true. I probably should have changed the mask before the stream.
Yeah, it's
Now
okay.
think
Don't
of
worry
it.
about it. Right.
Now this is the end of the stream. Oh my god, it's just thrown us into an F1. Please no. Please no.
No,
No,
just,
no,
just-
no, no, no. I don't want to do another one, please. Not on this stream, anyway. God damn it, it's doing it!
Just stop it. Just,
I'm trying! We'll end it by returning to orbit after we've landed. And God.
well,
God
to be
rest
fair,
the,
we've gone
soul of
over
whoever-
anyway. What if we just do it all on your channel? That's okay with me if you want
Could
to.
do that,
So
okay.
we could just do like another 30 minutes and
Yeah.
just do it on yours. So, but
Okay.
yeah, if I just sort of
Picking up some dense darkness
yeah.
rings
So
nearby.
okay, so no more talk about his
Congregating
Destiny
in the
character.
old
We're
worm
going to be
breeding
talking
ground
about
again.
his some of his other characters and stuff.
Not
And I mean, I suppose the first one I want to talk about because it's what I probably know him most from is from the series Fringe. So it's really interesting. Fringe was a series I'd seen ages ago, and it was very, for those who haven't seen Fringe, if you imagine X-Files but far better, far more sci-fi-ish. There's whole time travel bits, alternate realities, but also quite gory and horror-esque bits as well. I think the opening scene to the show is on an airplane, and someone accidentally lets this weird chemical off, and he reaches up to his jaw, and when he pulls his hand down, his jaw is in his hand.
Oh, lovely.
Just peels right off his face, and then it starts happening to everyone else on the plane, and the camera just pulls back to show the outside of the plane, and it just goes to the music, and it's so good. And in this, Lance Reddick is actually sort of the captain, or the sort of the lead of this FBI unit called.
I had a
Fringe Division.
feeling he would be. I had a feeling he would be. I doubt he
Yes.
would in any film, but
And he plays a character probably quite similar in a degree. Obviously, he's not this big powerful lad, but he's a genuinely, he is an FBI agent in his own right, and he is a relatively tough guy. But his main role is he's the head of the division. So which sort of speaks to his sort of personality as a leader.
yeah.
And what's really interesting with his character is he never really. You're always wondering where do his loyalties lie? Whose side is he on? And then you find out and you go, right, now I know. And then you don't. And then you go, so I found out now. Guess what? No, you haven't. And so you've always kept guessing, but you still like him either way. And because his character is usually very serious, very sort of deadpan and
God damn it.
and in this you sort of see him in that way most of it, but there's a really entertaining episode which I was talking about the other day where you actually see him in this one. His character has been given LSD.
Oh, hold on a second. This is just us two.
I don't know.
On this track. Because as soon as you died, I got a laugh.
Might be then.
God.
But yeah, his character's given LSD, so he suddenly has to play this character really sort of goofy and constantly giggling, and he basically is hallucinating cartoon
LSD's
birds.
Drug, isn't it?
Yes, basically makes you hallucinate.
Right. Okay.
And he's basically seeing these cartoon birds floating around his head.
So like how... What is it? Is it Black Noir in The Boys?
Yes, yeah,
So
and
you
you actually
cast
see them on
characters?
screen, same as that. So
Right,
you're sort
okay.
of seeing these birds floating around his head, and he's giggling away, and everyone else is like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "Nothing." And he's just—it's so funny because normally it would seem silly, but because he's such a good actor, you genuinely it fits, but you just find yourself laughing away at it. It's done so well.
So basically, I've got like a mod on my solar class. Basically, if I charge my grenade up enough, it basically looks like I throw 3 grenades tied up together, and then they just go like make a massive explosion. And the amount of times I've done myself being next hit whilst it's gone off and killed so many enemies. It says like, oh, well, this is not great. I didn't Iron Banner before, it was interesting. Anyhow, so shall we talk about his role in John Wick? Because I can join in.
You can do, but I can't because I've only ever seen John Wick once. So the only thing I know is he works in that hotel place.
What?
The only thing I know is
you've
he's
only seen John Wick 1. We've talked about John Wick multiple times.
And you've seen Fringe never, so
That's a good point.
Yeah, so there you go. So yeah, I know that his character runs that sort of hotel place, doesn't he?
He doesn't run. He's the receptionist.
Oh, the receptionist.
Yeah. No, it's the guy who plays Odin. The guy who plays Odin. What's his name? Why can I not think of his name right now?
It doesn't matter. It's not about it.
The guy who plays Odin in Marvel. Why can I not think of it?
Doesn't matter. It's not his stream. Don't worry about
That's a good point. Okay.
it. But yeah, I think so his character in that, he was saying before about he has like a bit of a different accent, doesn't he?
Yeah, he. I actually saw an interview where he's talking about it. He has, I can't remember what accent it is, but he has a different accent on it, and he said that he wanted to try it with the accent because he thought if he did, it would add a different legal to the character.
Is it like a British accent?
See if I can get a second. Just get it up. Yeah.
Of course. So when the old place get a facelift? Around 4 years ago. But I'm sure she really hasn't changed much. Same owner.
So it's interesting because he has the accent, but he sounds so different to me, at least. But
See, I'm listening to it and I just think, yeah, no, that's him. So I still recognise the voice very clearly.
It's like there are parts of it I do like at the end then where I stopped it. I recognise it as him, but there are parts where I'm just there. It's like that just doesn't sound like him.
Yeah.
Because of the accent, but it's just like he said. In the interview he says that it added some more character to the character that
I think
actually needed that one.
I think as well for Americans, it only takes like a minor, like sort of a slightly English twang to. Yeah. The amount of times when I've spoken to someone who's American and they've gone, "Oh, you're Australian," and I'm like, "No," because basically in America,
no, not mine.
In Australia, there's two accents: American and everything else, and that's it. So, you know, this guy's called Shockwave, who's on our team.
I don't want to become a lab rat. I'm leaving.
But yeah, it's. I mean, his character in John Wick wasn't actually a big character. It wasn't like a main character, was it?
It isn't.
But
he's a recurring character in the other
Yeah.
films, stuff like that.
yeah, but it's interesting how he was obviously quite memorable
Yeah.
because it was one of the first things people were like, "Oh, he was in John Wick," and you go, "Oh yeah." So you
Yeah.
know, he obviously is someone who can do a lot with a small role.
It was funny because as soon as I saw John Wick, I was just like, hold on a second, and I searched it up, just like any other thing that Lance was in, and he didn't have the accent. Once I heard him without the accent, I'm just like, it's a Valor. But yeah, yeah. Outside of Destiny, though, John Wick is definitely the one I remember most.
I mean, I am going to say, I am going to have to lend you Fringe because you will love it. You wouldn't have when you were younger, but now you will.
Now that I love gory stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and bear in mind there's like 5 seasons of it. I also think you might have a slight crush on one of the girls who's in it too, which would be entirely justified.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it's just really good. But I suppose we have to sort of bring it up eventually. The other thing which he was in was the Resident Evil Netflix series, and I'm not gonna get into anything negative about it or anything like that.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is that I think it's fair to say it was not a critical success, especially within the fan base. And I would say one of the main reasons for that is that there was so much that was changed, both in how the characters looked, in what the characters were actually like as personalities, and his character was a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
He played the character of Albert Wesker, who is a large, muscular, blonde white man who is young.
In the games, by the way, in the games.
Yeah, in the game.
Not in the series, obviously.
And his character is a cold, cruel scientist who has no family relations to anybody, and is basically is only obsessed with making himself more powerful. and furthering Umbrella. In the series, he is obviously a bald black male who is in his late 50s, early 60s, who has 2 daughters, one of whom at least is a clone of him or something like that, and he cares very much about his family, and apparently he is a clone. Oh, and there's loads of other clones of. There's nothing about it that actually matches. So, reality is the
one
series.
Thing, I'm pretty sure Wesker does have a sister in the game.
He might do, but yeah, maybe.
Because I think they were
Certainly
both
doesn't
I think they were both experimented on and stuff like that.
Yeah. But either way, anyway.
Yeah.
And even outside of the Wesker character, the series takes place after the Raccoon City incident. They're in New Raccoon City, which is in this weird little high-tech town in the desert or something. Yeah, basically, there is nothing about it that is Resident Evil, and the series is most famous for a random dance scene, which went viral on TikTok. That's
there
it.
was a random dance scene in Resident Evil.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I didn't even make it past the first 10 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
Of the series,
they put these things in now specifically so they'll go viral on TikTok. But it's good advertisement for a series.
For example, the Wednesday dance.
Yeah.
I don't even have to name the actual dance. Just as soon as I say the Wednesday dance,
that is there.
You instantly know what I'm talking about. I also I also should probably mention, Muppet Future said she loves Fringe.
Yes, Fringe is awesome. Thank you.
That was from a while ago, and I've only
I gathered.
Yeah.
I gathered. But yeah, so his character in Resident Evil, didn't work. But what I would say was
he played it really well.
Yeah, what he was given to do, he did well, and you actually felt for the character. You when his daughters were like, "No, you're evil," you actually felt sorry for him and got it protected, which is wrong. We shouldn't feel that way for Albert Wesker, but he still did. He did that well. And I did actually wonder if one of the reasons he accepted that role was because he was a big fan, considering his love of gaming, whether he was a big fan of the Resident Evil series as well. So it would make sense. But yeah, I mean, I think it's clear to say he was a very good voice actor, but he was also just a very good actor, and whatever he was given. I've never seen him in anything where he did not do. I've seen things where the character was not written well or whatever, but what he was given, he's always done a good job with it.
Yeah.
The only thing he's particularly famous for, which I can't really comment on, is The Wire, and that's a very big successful show. But I've never actually seen it.
Like with Fringe, I can't really comment on that.
No. I mean, Fringe, I can at least comment on, but with this, I've got nothing. I know the series is successful, so I can say that, and I know he was a big part of that success.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of the talk after the news broke was that he's currently most famous for his part in The Wire, which is, says a lot. If that's something that they feel he's famous for, and I'm pretty sure I've seen bits of him recorded for other things too. So I think there was like 3 more films or shows.
He's voice acted in a few more things as well.
Yeah, now there's 3 things that are due to come out that he's in, because it said about it when I looked up about things he's been in. There was a big list of things that he'd been in, and it said coming soon. And there was 3 particular shows or films that he's yet to star in, that he's recorded bits for. So it's nice to know that even looking forward and outside of Destiny, there's going to be bits from him still to come.
Yeah.
So that's nice. That that he's not fully gone yet. There's more to enjoy from him.
And it's like, I'm feeling voice acting going to do? Might have been one or two voice acting. I'll have a look after this strike, but as we load into the next one, I'll have a look. But yeah, he's a great actor, a great voice actor. He's in general is great.
He just seemed like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
You know, you can genuinely imagine from what I've seen him in, and when I've seen bits about him outside of the characters, you can really imagine he'd be the kind of guy that you'd have a laugh just hanging out with.
Yeah.
Just talking to. It's a really big shame that we never got to ever see him at any of the comic conventions or anything like that.
I see. That would have been good. That would have been good.
Yeah. Here's one for you then. One sort of last, I suppose, question, because I think in general then we've covered everything we can cover. And this is a sort of question to go with that fits us really. If you were to see him at a comic convention, what picture or what thing would you want signed?
Definitely a picture.
Basically relating to what character? Vala.
Definitely Val. That's why I know him as.
Yeah.
That's what I know him as mostly. Like, obviously John Wick. I've seen John Wick. I know him as the receptionist in John Wick. That guy has a name, but I just keep referring to him as the receptionist because that's all I can remember. But definitely Zavala because, like I said, big part in video gaming side of life and stuff like that. So yeah, it'll definitely be interesting.
I think for me it would have to be character from Fringe, because that was where when I see him in Destiny, I say, oh, the guy from Fringe is in it. And I've literally spoken to people about this game and said, oh, it's got really good voice actors in it. The guy who's in Fringe is in it.
Out of spite for you, I'd probably just watch the first episode of Fringe and be like, I like the first episode. The guy, Zavala's in it.
Yeah, well, that would actually make sense, to be fair. You'd be like, oh yeah, that's Vala.
Just inside you said, like, I know it is, god damn you.
I get it, okay? I get it. I'm trying to find the port. Oh, here.
Huh?
I lost the portal.
Are you telling me you're stuck on the other side?
Kind of. Yeah.
Oh, so yes.
There's a little arrow to... Oh, it's literally over there now. So there's a little arrow pointing to where the portal... I thought where the portal was, and it's not. The portal's over the opposite side of the room. I'm coming.
The boss is dead.
Got him. Ah.
Got him.
I got him.
Ikora, the worm breeding ground is
Mate.
for now.
Team effort.
They'll be back, I'm sure. But your efforts continue to hold them off. Good work as always, Guardian.
Anyhow. Nothing. It's an invisible wall.
Right. Should we do one more strike to wrap up a little bit?
Well, the player left the activity without giving commendation, and he won't get commendation.
Oh well, I guess it's just each other then.
I'll have a look at what else he's been in. Lance Reddick. Angel Has Fallen.
Oh, that's a
Lost,
good film.
White House Down.
He was in Lost.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to check out which character he was. I like Lost.
Percy Jackson and the Olympians.
Lightning
That-
Thief.
No,
Yeah.
and the Olympians. I think that's the new
Oh,
series coming out on Disney Plus. He's in Castlevania. Who is he in Castlevania? Oh my God, he's the. You won't get this because you've not seen Castlevania, but I do. He's in Godzilla vs Kong.
Oh, he is. Yes, he is. Oh, let's see now.
Gilliman? Godzilla
Gilliman.
versus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to see. Let's see. Godzilla versus Kong.
The fallen will continue to claw at the
Shut up,
walls of
Advert.
our city unless we strike them down. Beneath the ruins of the Cosmodrome, in the shadow
Oh,
of the old
yeah,
colony ship, we've
okay.
located the House of Devil's
I
Lair,
just needed to see the scene to
the High
remember.
Civic, feeding them their strength. We must destroy this machine god and send their souls screaming back to hell.
Right, what else is here? Anything else that we would guess? Well, not that we'd guess, that we'd know.
He's actually done a lot of voice acting. When you look through his record, there's a lot of animated shows as well.
Star Wars, Clone Wars. Come to think of it, Clyde, this is. Am I just making up a character in my head that he's been, that he could have been in Clone Wars now?
I think so.
He was the little frog dude in the drone, the drone at the droid at.
I mean, I could totally see him as a Jedi.
I could see him being like Yoda's master or something like that. I could definitely see that. And that's where Yoda learned how to be like that would have been interesting. Like the Tales of the Jedi, that would have been an interesting episode.
I could actually see him being the animated version of Mace Windu. Because the animated version of Mace Windu has a very different voice and a very different look and feel.
Samuel
And
L.
I
Jackson.
could totally see him. What's that?
Has a totally different feel to Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. He does.
I mean, I don't
Doesn't
think
feel the same character.
I don't think Mace Windu is sick of these younglings on this Coruscant.
I mean, I don't think Mace Windu in the film was either. But, you know.
I'm sick of this Chancellor on this Senate seat.
See, for most people, it basically just sounds like your mic just keeps cutting out now.
Yeah, it does, and I have no regrets.
One day,
don't swear because
what we
I-
should do is we should actually do a live stream that we're
Where
going
we
to
swear.
instantly delete, and we actually swear consistently through it, like non-stop. We just call it like the
Oh,
the
okay.
world's
So I
most
get
inappropriate live stream.
basically, you are going to make me do a live stream where I get to rage, is what I'm hearing.
You can rage, you can swear, you can say what, literally be as offensive as possible, and then we instantly delete it.
I think there's got to be a
Afterwards.
line. There has to be a line with how offensive we can be. Hold on a second.
I
there
mean,
has-
what if
there
it just
has to-
identifies as a line?
No. there has the no.
Don't get me
racism.
wrong. I'm not saying like we don't say anything horrific or anything.
Drake,
But
the way out
you
of
know what
here
I
is
mean.
sealed.
Won't mention
More
any,
as in like, as in the wording you use and stuff.
Okay. I was
One
just
where
saying
we
'cause
don't have to
there's
worry
one-
about getting demonetized.
Yeah.
Not where we don't have to worry about being
Yeah.
arrested. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of different.
You see, as soon as you said offensive as we can be, as we want,
No,
I was just that's
as
where I was
we
just like,
would
hold
be, right?
on.
To be very clear, neither one of us is actually in any way racist or anything like that. So we wouldn't. When I say that's not as of the offensive way we would be, because that's not what we're like.
Yeah.
So,
Explorer shank.
well, I think Commander Zavala would be quite impressed with our run of strikes here today.
Yeah. Definitely would be. The most we've done of strikes in ages, man.
Certainly it is. Certainly for me, anyway. I mean, I haven't done strikes in ages.
Yeah, I've done nightfalls, but that's mainly just for to do some of these stuff to rank up to the next round. I'm waiting for it to be an easier legendary lost sector, that one that I've already done and know how to beat, until I do either one of those. Oh, the lost sector ones. But I'm 19 out of 23. Of the little quests that you have to do to rank up, so it's looking good.
Why? I like the way you just went Borat there.
I played with someone who was a rank 8 somehow, and I'm just there, it's like, dude, it's not even. It's been 3 weeks since the whole ranking system was introduced. How he this right?
Why am I the one who's not been killed yet?
I'm waiting for someone to shoot you now. I'm not helping you, bye. Kill him, yes. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. Come on. Get him. I'll help you. Get him. I'd like to
take down these
I'd
lasers.
like to
Come
test,
on.
I'd like to test something out. Could you just stand still and let me shoot this rocket out?
No.
It sticks to things and then it explodes, so I want you to run into a crowd of them and just, can we try it out, please?
Here you go. Go on.
Oh, I just blew myself up, never mind.
Nice one, Brainiac. There you go.
Barrier is down. We can move now.
Come on.
Stand still there so I don't blow myself up. Okay. It doesn't stick, the Guardians, it just blows up, okay. Well, you never know until you try.
It's worth a try. It's worth a try.
I thought it just could have been funny just to watch you run in and then all of a sudden they all die. Like,
Basically,
oh.
you were asking me to turn into a suicide bomber.
Yes, but you wouldn't have died.
An immortal suicide bomber.
Yeah.
You can see why they cut that out the game,
Which
can't you?
technically would have been a suicide bomber if they were immortal. Do you see
True.
the point I'm making?
Yeah, but you can still see why they decided maybe not to leave this in the game.
Yet they have that ability in Fortnite.
Yeah, well, Fortnite's a different kettle of fish. I like to consider ourselves a little bit above Fortnite, if that's okay.
Yeah. Let's all just forget about the whole Fortnite crossover that happened the other season, shall we?
I mean, I'd like to.
It was only like the cosmetics, which wasn't that much of a problem, but if they started bringing in like the story of it all...
Oh no, that won't happen.
No.
I was still quite disappointed with the Assassin's Creed crossover.
Yeah, it was a lot more expensive just to...
And it just wasn't as cool.
Muppet Features is saying just to add random belated comment. Totally forgot Lance was in John Wick, but as soon as you said it, I remembered. But remember exactly who he was. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a likable character in everything he's been in.
Yeah. Thankful it's on my head. So, have I told you about this strike before? The Devil's Lair.
Probably.
How it was originally in Destiny 1 and they brought it back.
Yeah. Oh.
Did I just revive you when you died instantly?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, I don't think I got revived, to be honest.
No, look, McMahon! Oh my god. The guy we're playing with, his name is No Look McMahon.
Yeah, that's cool. Maybe let's not describe it as this guy we're playing with.
I doubt anybody was thinking.
They are now.
Oh no. There's a video of Keanu Reeves gets emotional over late co-star Lance Reddick. I'm not watching that. I completely forgot how to take down one of these tanks for a second there. I was just there, it's like it was lying down, and once it's lying down, you shoot the neck. I was just there shooting the whole body, just like, yep, this is doing damage.
Oh, great.
Hey, bud, how you doing?
Thank you, No Look Man.
Mech man. I can't say his name, say it right at least, man.
No Look McMahon. McCann. Dude, if you stayed still long enough for me to read your name, that would be... I completely forgot to do finishes. I was just here going, watching, I was like, oh, I'm gone. Saw him do a finisher then, I was like, oh yeah. Been
Like,
that long since I've played.
like Muppet Features with the not knowing.
This is the Devil's Lair.
That's it.
John Wick.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he was in that thing.
There we go. Now I'm using finishes.
I thought you were saying there you go, as in we just killed the thing. Like they say, but there's a lot more to do.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I'm not that out of touch with the game.
tell we're drained from the stream.
Yeah, I've gone quiet.
Mainly because we don't normally consistently talk like we just did.
But also, as well, I think that we've said everything there is to say without
We've
just...
said everything we
and I don't, and I don't want to just say loads of random stuff and it seem like we're being disrespectful for what it's about. So,
yeah.
But we know to sort of wrap up the stream in a minute. But
is it just me or has this guy been very easy to kill this time round?
well, yeah, a little bit. I was actually just thinking that was...
I used Blade Barrage and took down one of his bars. Like a third of his bar.
And I
really,
just used
Nova Bomb.
Yeah, she's Nova Bomb to wrap it up. But yeah, it was already mostly gone.
That's slightly weird. Anyhow, we're gonna finish off in orbit.
Yeah.
Mainly just so I can look at if I have anything to upgrade my armor. No, not apart from the helmet. Quickly do that.
Maybe anyone giving out awards here? It's nice.
1 second.
As long as everyone else is happy. Yeah, don't worry about me, guys.
And just for that, I'm not commanding you. Okay.
Remember that.
Joy
Take that award
Bringer.
back then. Oh, that's nice, yeah.
Shut up. It's not
I noticed
about
she
you.
didn't give any else.
Huh?
I noticed she didn't give any else.
Yeah, well, some people are rude. But then again, some people might have the thing that we had in Crucible before, where it doesn't load. You know what I mean?
Oh. Did you stay in the thing?
I might have stayed in the thing by mistake.
Oh, well, I got out anyway.
Okay, in that case. So, thank you everybody for watching. Sorry it's been quite a serious stream. Promise next time there will be. It's thrown me off because your ship is not behind mine. And he's very quiet. I'm scared that he's already gone.
Nah, I'm still here.
Okay. Sorry it's been a serious stream. It's we just wanted to talk about Lance and remember him for all his roles and stuff like that. So just want to give a quick thank you to Muppet Features, so Tony Jove at the beginning, Pink and Queen Bee for showing up. As always, good seeing you guys. Thank you for saying hi in the chats, and to anyone who didn't say hi in the chats, but still came along and stayed and watched. Thank you. Go subscribe to Saberjewel Gaming. He does retro reviews and my gem mode on 20k22.
2K22.
2k22.
I have also just this weekend done a very brief video to Lance Reddick as well. So anyone who's checked this out, feel free to just go and check that out as well, and just throw a comment on there. Let me know what your favourite role of his was, and just a little way of remembering him.
But yeah, so subscribe to me as well if you haven't already. Please leave a like. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video where it won't be as serious. But yes, thank you for watching, and goodbye.